Hi po! Magandang araw po ulit sa inyong lahat. Welcome po ulit sa aking YouTube channel, Nelson's Production. Ayan. So you may like and subscribe po to find more videos, and you can also click on the notification icon to be updated po sa mga uploads ko. Ayan. So marami na po akong sinasabi. Proceed na po tayo doon sa actual na topic natin sa araw na ito. Let's go! So today class, I will be discussing on matters concerning our mathematics subject. Ayan, so ang topic natin for today is on generating sequence. Okay, so we will now discuss on generating sequence. So ano ba kasi ang ibig sabihin ng generating sequence? So how do we find or how do we generate a certain sequence, and how can we find the end term of a certain sequence? So yun yung mga pag-uusapan natin class today sa topic natin on generating sequence. But before we proceed, kailangan muna natin alamin kung ano bang ibig sabihin ng generating sequence. So actually class, yung generating sequence natin falls on patterns. So fall muna tayo sa patterns. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng patterns para malaman natin kung ano ba talaga yung about sa topic natin. So patterns class are actually repetitive sequences. So paulit-ulit sila and can be found in nature, shapes, events, set of numbers, and almost everywhere you care to look. So meron tayong nakikitang examples dito sa screen. So this is an example of a pattern. So that is a seed in a sunflower. So meron rin tayong snowflakes, and then we have also geometric designs on quilts or tiles. So lahat ng mga yan class yung napakita na pictures, pictures are examples of our patterns. So pero actually class, ang pag-uusapan natin today is not on nature, is not on the tiles na patterns, but it is actually on number patterns. Ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng number patterns? Okay, so number patterns is a series of numbers following a sequence or a pattern. So meron siyang pattern, meron siyang sequence. So ang examples ng ating number patterns are arithmetic sequence, we have also geometric sequence, triangular numbers, square numbers, cube numbers, Fibonacci sequence, and we have the last one is the harmonic sequence. So yan yung mga examples ng ating number patterns. So you can search po yung mga number patterns natin sa Google or any other reference materials po para alam natin kung anong ibig sabihin ng ating mga number patterns na yan. Okay, so you can also watch this video to identify the differences po ng mga patterns na to. Okay, so let's watch this.
In this video, we're going to discover some key sequence terminology and how to recognize and generate some important sequences. We will come across all of these key sequences and these key words. Each number in the sequence is called a term. This is the first term, second term, and so on. This just tells us that the sequence carries on forever. This sequence is very easy to carry on. We can easily spot it's going up by 3 each time. Because it's plus 3 every time, we say it has a common difference of 3. Sequences that have a common difference, so the same difference every time, are called arithmetic sequences or linear sequences. Can you find the next 3 terms of this sequence? Did you get 21, 28 and 36? These are the triangular numbers, or the triangular number sequence. The sequence comes from the pattern of dots needed to make a triangle. They don't have a common difference. the difference changes each time. You add 2, then you add 3, then 4, then 5. Square numbers and cube numbers are also special sequences. But what about this special sequence? Can you find the next 3 terms? Did you get 13, 21 and 34? This is called the Fibonacci sequence. You just add up the 2 numbers before to get the next term. There's a lot you can discover about Fibonacci, such as if you make squares of Fibonacci sizes, you get a spiral. It's also linked to the golden ratio and is seen throughout nature. This is a quadratic sequence. If we look at the difference, it isn't the same. But if we look at the second difference, it is the same, which means it's a quadratic. Now on to our final sequence. Can you find the next 3 terms? This is called a geometric sequence. We multiply by the same value each time. We call it a common ratio. So in arithmetic or linear sequences, it's called a common difference. But in geometric sequences, it's called a common ratio. Here are some sequences. Find the missing terms of each sequence and then label what type of sequence it is. Pause the video, answer the questions and click play when you're ready. How did you get on? So now we know the differences between these sequences and what these keywords mean.
Okay class, so we just learned on the differences of our number patterns. So I hope you learned a lot sa video na napanood natin. Ayan, so class, I hope you take down notes din sa video kasi yung mga key concepts na napanood natin ay pwede natin gamitin dito sa ating lesson for today. Okay class, so let's take an example sa ating topic on generating sequence. So nakikita natin sa screen class yung example on number patterns. So we have 2, 4, 6, and 8. Okay, so ilang terms ba ang ating number pattern? Okay, we have 4. Very good. Now we have 4 na numbers na nakikita. Pero yung tanong is, yung example ba na yan ay sequence? Okay, the answer is yes, kasi meron tayong nakikitang pattern. Ano kaya yung pattern sa ating sequence? So we have 2. Okay, kapag nag-add tayo ng 2, makukuha natin yung mga sequence na yan. So kapag nag-add tayo ng 2 sa 2, then makukuha natin yung second term na 4. And then plus 2 sa 4, makukuha natin yung 6. And then 6 plus 2, we get yung 8. So that is an example of our sequence. Okay, so meron siyang pattern. Next, let's take on the second example. So we have 15, 12, 9, 6, and 3. Ilang terms ang sequence na yan? Ay, ilang terms yung pattern natin? So we have 5 terms. Okay, very good. Ayan, so yung tanong, is that a sequence? Still yes. Ayan, so ano yung pattern sa ating sequence na yan? Very good. So subtract tayo ng 3. So by subtracting 3 dito sa ating first term, we get yung 12. And then by subtracting 3 dito sa ating 12, we get yung 9 and then 6 and then 3. So yan yung example natin kanina. If we base sa video, that is an example of our arithmetic sequence wherein we are looking for the common difference. Ayan. So proceed ulit tayo. Since we already know about number patterns and how to distinguish its sequence, let's watch this video and learn how to generate patterns naman. Okay, so let's go!
Okay, in this video we're going to use the rule of a sequence to generate a sequence. So we're going to use a rule to find out what the numbers are in the sequence. So Here's a rule of a sequence. It's 5n plus 2. So what this n is it's the position in the sequence. So if I substituted in 1 for n, that'll give me the first number of the sequence. If I substituted in 2, that'll give me the second number of the sequence. If I substituted in 80, it'll give me the 80th number in that sequence. So to generate the sequence, if I want the first 5 terms, I'm going to substitute in 1 to find the first term. So the first term is 5 times 1 plus 2. And 5 times 1 plus 2, so that's 5 plus 2 is 7. So that's the first term is 7. The second term is 5 times 2 plus 2. So 10 plus 2, 12. The third term is 5 times 3 plus 2. So 5 times 3 is 15, plus 2, 17. The fourth term is 5 times 4 plus 2. That's 22. So what we're getting now is a sequence of terms like this. It's going to keep going, adding on 5 every time. So 32, 37, and so on. If I wanted to find the 100th term, so the 100th term, I'll have to do 5 multiplied by 100 plus 2, which is 5 times 100, 500 plus 2, that's 502. So if I kept going until the 100th term, that'll be 502. So this is how we use a rule to generate a sequence. So here's another one. We've got 21 minus 3n. So in the same way, let's find the first 5 terms. So the first term is 21 minus 3 times 1. So n is the position. 21 minus 3, that's 18. Second term, 21 minus 3 times 2. That's 21 minus 6, that's 15. 21 minus 3 times 3. 21 minus 9 is 12. 21 minus 3 times 4 for the fourth term. 21 minus 12 is 9. 21 minus 3 times 5. 21 minus 15 is 6. And so on. So the first terms of this sequence, the first term is 18, then 15, then 12, 9, 6. And it will keep on going down in threes. So 3, 0, minus 3, and so on. Okay, this one's n squared minus 3. So same thing applies. The first term is when we substitute in 1 for n. So it would be 1 squared minus 3. 1 minus 3 is minus 2. 2 squared minus 3. 2 squared is 4. Minus 3 is 1. 3 squared minus 3. 3 squared is 9. Minus 3 is 6. 4 squared minus 3. 16 minus 3 is 13. And 5 squared minus 3. 5 squared is 25. Minus 3 is 22. So the first 5 terms of this sequence are minus 2, 1, 6, 13, and 22.
Okay, so note class that there is actually an equation on sequences. So the equations are used to generate sequence or yung patterns natin. Okay, so sa video napanood natin ay ginamit na yung 5n plus 2 as the equation to use in generating sequence or yung pattern natin. Okay, so by substituting yung terms natin sa n, okay, so we will find yung terms natin for our sequences. So sa video napanood natin kanina, nung sinubstitute na yung 1 from the equation, nakuha niya yung 7 as the first term. Yung kapag nung sinubstitute naman niya yung 2, nakuha niya yung 12 as the second term. And from the given values of the nth term substituted to the equation, he got the sequence 7, 12, 17, 22, ellipsis. Ayun. So, ganun pala. So, only the variables, class, or letters are being substituted from the equation or from the equation. So, for this activity, I will give you 5 minutes to do the task. Do your best. Time starts now.
Okay, so See if you can find the first 5 terms of these sequences. So substituting 1, substituting 2, substituting 3, substituting 4, and substituting 5, and that will generate the first 5 terms to sequences. So give it a go, pause the video, and I'll go put the answers up in a minute.
Okay, so let's check class your answers.
Okay, so the first one, we had 5 times 1, which is 5, 5 times 2, 5 times 3, 5 times 4, and 5 times 5. 3n minus 2, so 3 times 1 minus 2 is 1, 3 times 2 is 6 minus 2, 4, 9 minus 2 is 7, and it goes up in 3s, so 10, 30. 20 minus 6n, so 20 minus 6 times 1 firstly, 20 minus 6 is 14, 20 minus 6 times 2, which is 12, 8, 20 take away 6 times 3, which is 18, 20 take away 18, that's 2, 20 take away 6 times 4, 20 take away 24, minus 4, and it's going down in 6s. Okay, n squared plus 5, so 1 squared, 1 plus 5, 1 plus 5 is 6, 2 squared is 4, plus 5 is 9, 3 squared is 9, plus 5 is 14, 4 squared is 16, plus 5 is 21, and 5 squared is 25, plus another 5 is 30. And we've got n squared plus n here, so we've got 1 squared plus 1, so 1 squared plus 1 is 2, 2 squared plus 2, 4 plus 2 is 6, 3 squared plus 3, 9 plus 3 is 12, 4 squared plus 4, 16 plus 4, 20, and 5 squared plus 5, 30, things one above.
I hope class this video helped you in answering your modules. So continue to do your best, persevere and strive to learn. So find ways and ask assistance sa inyong mga parents or sa inyong mga kapatid. So till we meet again. God bless!